further across the third portion of this way.
We're hiking the bluff because it's way easier than the beach and you have a better view. But Matt, fellow passenger on the shuttle, opted for the beach. He stayed there after we crossed the first pinch point, or also known as the first impassable zone. We crossed it a little early because we could see that there was enough beach dry after the sets rolling in, and a couple of northbound hikers came through as we were observing. So we're on our way. There is a stiff headwind, as maybe you can hear, and we have the first spatters. Barely rain, but it's there. Here we have some prime real estate on the Lost Coast. Your very own private cabin in wilderness conservation area. We're rocking up to the lighthouse that is Matt over there, horizon. We took the beach. We took this trail on the bluff. Of course, we have to have a look at this lighthouse. This is what the Lost Coast does to old equipment. Must be some storage room. Not a bad view. Some stored equipment. We'll be heading momentarily. MJ is in full rain gear. I don't know whether this is that she's grabbing any chance she can get to try out her new gear, or if it's really that raining. Someone is renewing the paint on this lighthouse. Look how white it is. It's nice to see. All right, the way ahead for us, somewhere around that bluff, is where our camp is for tonight. Leaving my backpack in the basement, ground floor of the lighthouse, because these winding stairs have a very narrow opening at the top to get through. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but I've made it to the lighthouse tower. There is Matt hiking along, and MJ is yelling from below, "I'm in the tower!" Once there was glass in here with a Fresnel lens to shine out across the ocean. Now it's open. Now I see why Matt came off the beach all fall up this trail on the bluff. All kinds of sea lions on the beach. Also somewhere we're going. Stay on the bluff, but there's one right there next to it. Gotta say hi. There's the welcoming committee for us. One is lifting his head to say hi and keep us in check. We're veering off because over here we have one dozing right there on the trail. Better not disturb it.
You want to go up or down?
We've left our guests slumber, or rather, we're the guests. So, here's the colony. Many of them have been tagged, marked, spray paint on their sides, they have numbers. And we are moseying on to our camp in the second impassable zone. We thought that the Lost Coast Trail was just beach walking. There's jungle too. The rain has progressed to steady drizzle. It's still light. Still in my Houdini. MJ is happy in her full rain gear. And we're hiking some bluffs on our way to the second tidal zone, the impassable zone number 2. It should be somewhere at the end of the bluffs you can see there. And we go down and we round that point is jutting out into the ocean. And that's where I think we'll find Hooski, whatever it's called, camp. Then we go to the very end of that impassable zone for Randall Creek camp. Seal Rock. And here is where the trail dropped off into the ocean. And instead of going straight through from that yellow rock to the gray rock here, we had to climb over, come back down, so that we can continue to descend to our impassable zone number 2. The first portion of the impassable zone number 2, we walked between the big rocks on the beach there, just above the water, no problem. A few boulders at the beginning, but so far so good. Now we're hiking up onto the bluffs for a truly impassable section. We're going up and over to where that marker is. The iris is here. They are next to the trail, and the trail is splitting itself into half. This portion here is about to slide down towards the ocean down below. I hope they make it and stay for the season. We're still in California, as evidenced by this poppy, the poppy estate flower. And there, way in the distance now, is the lighthouse where we were earlier. The next property on our Lost Coast real estate tour is this characteristic dwelling, a fixer-upper if you will, but look at the exquisite landscaping and the outdoor hot tub overlooking the ocean. Place your bets now, this won't last long. As we're making our way through second impassable zone, the next bluff appears on the horizon. Don't know if we're going to pass that today or if that's going to be on tomorrow's agenda. With the receding tide and sand between the pebbles and the rocks, it's actually pretty smooth sailing, which makes for a nice change compared to the boulders we negotiated a little ways back. The rain has really set in now, and the wind is still in our face. So we're powering through last 2 miles through the impassable zone, number 2, and then it's camp. All the creeks are flowing, but interestingly enough, many of them, they disappear into the beach once they get that low. As here, it's gone. We're steps up. It's flowing steadily.
Good morning. Randall Creek, where we had a rather sudden tide hit because putting up the tent in a heavy hailstorm, rainstorm, caused a lot of water. My clothes were wet. So I tried to dry this. Didn't do a great job taking showers tonight. So my clothes is being I have just enough to hike out dry, minus the shoes and socks. They will be soaking wet. You see here, and the puddle wrung out. We're camped on the bluff above Randall Creek. So it's a short walk down to the creek to get water. That's the pinch point. You have to come through at low tide, so back in. I think the window's almost closed. Waves are coming in fast and furious. Quite a lovely sight, but we do not do it. That's why we're here. Sun has arrived at camp. We're packing up while we are letting our clothes dry. Hopefully there won't be a soggy mess. May straps onto our packs. Here you see pinch point, and it came through yesterday. The creek is running much higher because it's being pushed back by the ocean. And on occasion, the waves push the water past the rock on the left and on the cliff on the right. That's what we came around yesterday. So pay attention to those tight charged skids or avoid crises at all costs. We're on our way, hiking along the bluffs above the surf. The tide is high. There are a million wildflowers on the bluff. It's really quite stellar. Camp was just around the corner there, behind that hill. More signs of the heavy winter eroding the bluffs. I think I'm going to pass to my left. And do it again. The waves are really spectacular this morning. Sets are rolling in quick expected. Again, our camp is
just around that bluff, the down block of the ground. So, beautiful morning, happy and dry. More signs of the power of the ocean. We're still on the bluffs, you can see. But look at all the driftwood and the size of them. That can only mean that at one point in time, the surf was so rough that it crested over the bluff, drops them off here. Look at that one. There to the side to come to a junction. And go up Spanish Ridge on the Lost Coast Trail that Gary's doing. Spanish Ridge. It's this way. Goes up steep. This female hiker out in the wild, taking no chances. She has swapped her shoes to her water shoes and was even securing her pants. Nothing must get wet because regenerating body heat in wet clothes is a difficult task for this female. But look at her go, taking sure and steady strides across the raging Creek, Spanish Creek. And there, she made it. Well, irises are out. Next to another prime real estate listing. This one has a whale for a weather vane. We're off the bluff onto a pebble beach. It's pretty much high tide, and this is what our trail looks like. Just a shallow pebble beach between the cliff and the crashing waves. Yeah, there you go. And we're back on the bluff. We came up this sandy, flat sand slope. There was a diagonal trail across it. Now we're following this narrow trail on the cliff, avoiding the beach with boulders, driftwood. Tide is just going out. It's a narrow passage, pretty beautiful, but the trail is probably easier. Here's the trail following the cliff, crushing surf below, crashing and crushing. See that enormous log moving in the waves. There it's being picked up like a toothpick. There's a smaller one drifting a little further ashore. Tide's going out. Let's continue. The cliff has become slow trail. Rock, crushed rock. It's like we're approaching big, flat, very high. Still a few miles away. You can see bluff blotched off. There might be a strip there. We caught up with Matt, who camped a little ways past us last night, and here we are negotiating one of the narrowest sections of the third impassable zone. A little after 2, tied out enough to make it passable. It's still a very narrow stretch. We have to keep our eyes open for speaker whips, as well as carefully placing our feet on the boulders as not to twist an ankle. We just passed Shipman Creek. We're now roughly middle of third tidal zone, third passable zone. Tide still receding, so we can walk on the wet sand, which makes for sometimes easier walking. The cliffs are green, nice contrast, black sand that we're walking on. For some reason, MJ prefers the pebbles. I don't know. Black sand, though wet, it became soft and it's tiresome. So I climbed up this hump on the beach and now walking a really nice flat section, which is nice for a change. And Bill's doing the same now. Bit of a power struggle to get up. Once you're on it, it's nice. You can no longer walk on a slanted surface. That surface. Turkey filter with a cadaver suspicious of me. But MJ is continuing on and makes him feel more at ease to start carrying at it. Let's find out what it is eating. I think we can get to see. Is it fish or a mammal? Oh yeah, you don't want to go far. You don't want to leave the, oh, it's a bird. It's a cormorant. All right. I won't keep you from your meal. Here we are, a quarter mile before Gitchell Creek, which we hiked to get water and scope out their camping situation. But the one side that it was a proper side is behind a log jam in a narrow canyon next to a creek. So we deduce that it's likely to be wet, cold, lots of condensation. And so we hiked back a little bit and now we're up on a bluff just above the beach that we hiked across. And we found 2 spaces just fitting our tents. The spot is marked with this beautiful bounty of the ocean. That's where we came from. That's the passable zone number 3. And we're just past it. This more or less marks the end of the passable zone. So tomorrow, we continue down this beach, and right around the corner is where we cross Mattole Beach once more. And we have left Sand Beach till we reach Shelter Cove. Here, the rain on the fly sheet. We were hoping that it wouldn't rain as much as yesterday, but it looks like it's going to rain steadily. Sadly, this light we're looking at right here is not fully waterproof. I feel the occasional drop, only when it's raining hard, but still, that's right where my head is when I'm sleeping. Let's hope it's just a shower and won't last all night. That wouldn't be enjoyable. The rest of the tent is looking pretty good. Just set up tent, hanging out, hoping the rain will stop before making dinner. It's continuing to rain like this. Not looking forward to getting the stove for Mary Jo, who has it in her tunnel. Hiking the last stretch we're on the way to Mattole Beach. And last night, just past the last impassable zone, so there's no concern that the tide is coming in. And you can see through this shrouded fog where Shelter Cove is, our destination for. Started with an overcast moment like Megan afterwards. Thoroughly departure for us until we had the beach so far. It's turning out to be a beautiful morning. Calm seas and clearing skies. Here we see some of the cloud cover that we woke up under. And right there, in the distance, we see some tents at the last campsite on the beach with split rock. Creak crossing, plus some logs. Yes, MJ's happy. There goes MJ through split rock just as the sun hits the lower rocks, and the tide has come in far enough to reach the lower of the two rocks. So between the cliff and the upper rock we go. Here we are coming up to the end of Black Sand Beach with the first houses of Shelter Cove up on the hill. The map says there's still a creek to cross, but I imagine it would be running here, and MJ has a cliff to descend. It's not that bad. There's an opening where that creek comes down from that side valley. There's the creek. It was hiding behind a dune. Alright. One more time wading through a creek. I don't see an option to rock hop it. Well, maybe I do. Let's find out. I tried to rock hop it, but then on the last rock I slid off. It was so slick with algae that, oh no! I think that's what MJ encountered here too. Where we've come from, looking north up the Lost Coast Trail. And we're almost home. No lives were lost hiking this trail for us. We've kept our eye on the ocean and the waves. And now we can safely hike up this red carpet of a trail up to the bluff where our car is parked. Airproof trash can. Basic map and tie chart. Then we have to hike up this road. Here we go. The left-hand turn to the Trailhead parking. There. Clear sign. No camping. So I camped 5 miles out of town on our way in. A car with dry clothes and dry shoes. I haven't had dry feet for 2 days, but it doesn't matter because they were warm.